Hello, this is JY83, and this is the finale episode of the Noob Journey Season 2, and it's pretty exciting. I've not actually got anything to race for myself in terms of the championship, but yeah, it should be a fun race anyway. I'm just looking to enjoy myself. And we've got a few returning faces. We've got T Quickshare, Diehard Fan, and Matt212 who've all returned, who are a bit too well. I say a lot too good for this league, if you will. So yeah, I'm not looking to beat them, but obviously their points won't count if they do come ahead, but everyone does shift up a few places. But usually the amount of traffic that we get through the middle sector of the Brazilian Grand Prix where we are this week, and yeah, coming through the final call. This is my first running qualifying. I'm losing the back end everywhere behind Reese, and I've just touched the wheel on the grass, and that is me round, and that lap is over. But I've managed to teleport my way back onto the track, which is rather interesting. My teammate does go fastest, but then this is my next running qualifying, and you can just see once again the amount of traffic. It's like a drive over from Tesco, the amount of cars that are just spun around everywhere. There's Morgs, there's Teak, there's December, and all these returning faces do have to start from the back, as well as Pepsi Max, the champion. So I'm looking good. I should have a good result hopefully, as they're all starting from the back, and I'm probably the fastest after those drivers. But you can see coming up to the line, we're 6 seconds up, as I managed to not spin this time. But yeah, it should be a decent lap. I don't think it's good enough for pole positions. We had the amount of traffic. I had a bit of oversteer. But yeah, it's a 14 dead, and now I'm going to hand over to Seiyariu for the qualifying report.
Here we are at Brazil on board with Jamie in his McLaren on his final lap in qualifying. He's coming up towards turn 1 now and braking hard just before the 50-metre board. He gets a bit of rear locking there, and that puts him slightly off when he's trying to hit the apex into turn 1 there, but compared to his previous lap, he's now half a second up, so that's a decent attempt so far, and he's carried good speed throughout turn 2 and 3 there. And he's slightly up ahead on the provisional pole time at the moment, so if he maintains this momentum, he could be on for a very good qualifying position. And coming up through this middle sector now, at this 50-metre board, chucking the car in. He's missed his apex slightly there, but brings it nicely back over to the right-hand side. Tricky braking zone now for this right-hander, but he nails that pretty nicely there. Tiny little front lock-up, but shouldn't cost him too much. Trying to bring it back over to this long left-hander. Tricky on the traction here as well. And I'm coming up towards turn 10 here. Another front lock-up there, but he makes that apex nicely and is quite a far up ahead on his previous lap time here. Over a second now, and it's just important to nail this final corner. Missing the apex a bit, but gets nicely on the traction, and this is going to drag him nicely up towards the final corner, carrying lots of speed. And there we go, going to be opening up the DRS now, and it's just looking at that lap time to see where it gets him. He's got to be at 13.0, and he's just managed it at 12.9 there, and that's pole position. Great lap there.
So thank you very much to Seiyariu for that. But as you can see, I did manage to get pole position by just under a tenth from my teammate Briggsy, with Morgs in third from December, Reese, the Rudsters, Causa, Buttius, Crackius, Frobo Jobo, who's also the absolute legend that's returning, from Nimau, and then everyone else pretty much either was returning and didn't set a time, or they started from the back. As you can see, I'm on pole. It's going to be wet towards the end of the race, but let's get straight into it. 5 red lights now for the Brazilian Grand Prix in the Noob Journey, starting from pole position. My first pole in the Noob Journey, and it is lights out and away we go. And this is 2 jump starts. Chuk and Alex Degu is leading at the minute. Chuk must be the commentator, so he doesn't count, but Alex Degu is actually leading a race. I never thought I'd see the day, but I've managed to hold position into turn 1. Alex Degu already spun around, so that was short-lived. He's blown up a Pirelli sign. So Alex Degu leading for about half a quarter, and then he spun. So yeah, back into the lead now from my teammate Briggsy, with Morgs in third, and hopefully I can just keep everyone behind me now. Me and Briggsy are very closely matched, as you saw, just a tenth of it in it for qualifying, so we are both teammates, of course, so we don't want to crash. But yeah, hopefully I can keep him behind. But you can see onto the end of lap 2, and Matt212, who started from the back, is already behind me. I've managed to pick up a track limit warning already, which isn't brilliant. But Matt is already third from the back of the grid, so I'm not happy about that. He is much better than me with no assists, and Briggsy right behind me now, so hopefully I'm going to hold him off into turn 1, but he's got a good run. Through Yun Kao, I think it's called, and now across the line we are going to go purple as it is lap 2. But then Briggsy goes purple behind me at about 7 tenths quicker, and then Matt goes purple about 1.5 seconds quicker, so I've got oversteer into next week through turn 1, so this is not going to go well, but Briggsy just about also doesn't get a good exit, so we keep ahead for the time being. Now onto lap 3, we've got the Rogue Ferrari on the left hand side there, and then there's one on the right as well, so we've already lapped both Ferrari cars, not going too well for them. But through this section now up to is that Glock corner, and Briggsy is still right behind me, and hopefully I can get a good run through here, but he's right on my tail now, so I'm going to have to defend quite hard from my teammate Briggsy. He's fighting for third in the championship, and I've not got much to fight for, so from a championship point of view it would make sense to let him through, but I don't really care. I want to get a win, as I've not actually had a genuine win this season. I only had the one where I got given the win because I got disqualified, but now Matt has gone another like 2 seconds faster on that lap, so that's not going to go well. But Matt is closing in quickly on 3rd place. I'm getting a terrible run through turn 1, 2 and 3. Briggsy is all over my tail, but I've got a better exit out of turn 3, so Briggsy's going to have to stay behind for the time being. There's a car on the left that's retired, I think, and Briggsy not have the slipstream enough, so he's not going to go for a move into turn 4. So he just about hold it for now, but then onto lap 4, I've just driven off the track because I've lost the exit, and that is not going to go well. I've got a really bad exit. Briggsy's got the run on me. He's going to go up the inside into Young Cow, and he's taken a position almost, and down second, but I hold it right on the outside. There's a very nice defensive move, if I do say so myself. And now Briggsy has to yield and stay in 2nd place, but Matt is right behind now, so it's a decent 3-way battle for the lead here. And Briggsy has got the DRS open, so he's going to be in the slipstream now, and he's going down towards turn 1. He's not going to go for a dive on it, doesn't look like. I brake late this time. Make sure you can't dive from it, but now I've got a time penalty already, which isn't helpful because these drivers behind usually don't get many time penalties. But my tyres are also not feeling the best. Matt's on hard, so he's going to be going much longer. Briggsy is also on the soft tyres, but now onto lap 5. And once again, through Young Cow, Briggsy is right, it's Matt actually now right behind me in the mirror, as you can see the banana car. And he is going to be in a run, it looks like. But I'm trying to pit this lap, so he's going for the inside, but I'm going to have to pit anyway, so I don't care if I take out Matt, to be honest. But he's going into the pit lane and stopping for the markers and going onto hard tyres, as that is the mandatory tyre for this race. So Diehard Fan is already 4th, you can see. He's also one of the returning drivers who's now in AOR. So Teak, Matt and Diehard are all in AOR, like not assist tiers. So yeah, it's pretty much a given that they're going to be 1, 2, 3 probably by the end. Teak Quickshare also goes fast along with Respawn. And yeah, so basically if I finish 4th, then that's 1st place. So basically take 3 places off of wherever I finish, and that's where I actually finish. But we're down to 6th now in the order. Respawn is a little bit ahead of me, and he's just been overtaken by Teak Quickshare. And through turn 4 now, Reese is just up ahead, you can see. But I think he's got a really bad run through there. He's going really slow. He's driven off the track, so I'm going to just drive past him now and take back 5th place. I've driven off the track. Luckily, I don't get a warning for that one. And I'm able to keep the position, even though it was a pretty disgusting track limits overtake, but still. Reese is now slowed down even more. I don't quite know what's going on, but yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know, he's just teleported. We saw me teleporting qualifying, now Reese is at it. He's teleported straight past me and back up into 5th place. There's quite a bit of lag going on. But Briggsy, my teammate, now in the pits, you can see on the left-hand side, we've just about overtaken him. We've got the undercut to work quite well. He's onto medium tyres because there's rain at the end of the race, so he's planning on pitting onto the intermediates at the end. And yeah, hopefully the intermediates don't go too well because he's on mediums at the minute, so he will have the advantage. But medium is not mandatory, so he's going to have to pit again if it doesn't rate enough. But now we're driving past Reese with the DRS open, around the outside of turn 1, brake later, then lock up the front left, but it's absolutely fine. And now back up into 4th place, which is effectively the lead. And Reese hasn't stopped yet, so we've got quite a bit of a gap over my teammate Briggsy. But he's going to have to stop again unless it starts raining, which it might do. But now onto lap 9, Briggsy is not the car behind me. I think there's a laps car directly behind me on the minimap there. It's through the middle sector of this Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a pretty nice sector to drive, but now through, and I've absolutely lost it. So that's a bottle if I've ever seen one. And Briggsy is going to take that position up into 2nd place. It's only reduced damage, so the damage model should be alright, because it's only an orange front wing and reduced damage doesn't really make a difference. And yeah, Briggsy has now got that, so that's not helpful. But now onto lap 16, you see it has started to rain quite a long way into this race. But Briggsy has had to pit, as otherwise he would have been disqualified for not running the mandatory tyre. So he is going to come into the pits, onto a set of inters, I believe. It might be hards actually, but I'm not quite sure. But that is a pretty big bottle from him, so both McLaren's doing their best to bottle it. So he's on the inters now, but it's not quite ready for intermediates yet. But now onto lap 18, it definitely is. DRS has been disabled now, and I'm just sliding around everywhere. Briggsy is the car behind. I've got about a 15-second lead, so unless I spin out or something, then I'm not going to bottle it, hopefully. But yeah, I was pretty lucky that I binned it on the track to that corner, but still managed to come through and overtake Briggsy because he had to pit. But now Matt has won the race from Teak Quickshare and Diehard Fan. So yeah, those three clearly much better than all of us. But go around the final corner, as long as I don't just like lose it up here, do a Vettel / Ericsson / Grosjean / whoever you want who spun out at this point. Verstappen did it as well, I think, in the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix. But unless I lose it now, I'm going to come home across the line for 4th place, which is effectively the race win. And Briggsy, my teammate, just behind. It's going to be a McLaren 1-2. And this is my first proper win in the Noob journey, and that is very nice indeed. So yeah, Briggsy makes it a 1-2, but there we go. I actually won a race and managed to not bottle it. And Pepsi Max in 3rd with December 4th, the Roadsters 5th, Corsa 6th with Factory Impala 7th place, and then the Ferraris are 5 and disqualified. 5 laps down, and one of them was disqualified, I believe, so not too good for the Ferraris. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been Janeway 3, and I will see you next time.